When he was a little boy growing up, this happened to come to my mind like a shock.
What
He
did?
was about 5 years old. He was getting some new teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the first set, but he had a ways to go to get the second one. But instead of the second one, he got a third set. We had three sets of front teeth. Follow me? Follow me?
I follow you, yes.
So I went to the doctor, baby, see his doctor, and the doctor said, go see a dentist. Have him removed. Then I asked the dentist, I said, is he going to be a demon if he's having three sets of teeth? And the dentist says, no, nothing will happen. I said, well, when he gets older, will he go crooked? Will something happen to him? No, because I was worried of his family. The word wino, they drank a lot.
Wino?
Yeah, that's why it got kind of... But the dentist says it's the way you raise him. So I let it go at that. He had three sets of teeth, and nothing's ever been said about it until now. When he calls, I'm going to ask him if he remembers.
The dentist? The dentist?
Yeah.
Hey, you murder phoniacs. This is your host, Tony Ciaglia, the serial killer whisperer, along with my co-host, the man of the hour, the Coxman himself. Love you, Coxman.
Love to be here. Love you.
What the fuck did you think of that?
To be honest, and this doesn't happen very often, the Coxman is at a loss for words.
You know, let's play that phone clip again, okay? Let's play that again. We call it the demon teeth call. I want to make sure everyone hears what Francis says. It's a very short clip, but it reveals so much.
When he was a little boy growing up, this happened to come to my mind like a shock.
What
He
did?
was about 5 years old. He was getting some new teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the first set, but he had a ways to go to get the second one. But instead of the second one, he got a third set. We had three sets of front teeth. Follow me? Follow me?
I follow you, yes.
So I went to the doctor, baby, see his doctor, and the doctor said, go see a dentist. Have him removed. Then I asked the dentist, I said, is he going to be a demon if he's having three sets of teeth? And the dentist says, no, nothing will happen. I said, well, when he gets older, will he go crooked? Will something happen to him? No, because I was worried of his family. The word wino, they drank a lot.
Wino?
Yeah, that's why it got kind of... But the dentist says it's the way you raise him. So I let it go at that. He had three sets of teeth, and nothing's ever been said about it until now. When he calls, I'm going to remind him to ask him if he remembers.
The
that
dentist.
incident.
The dentist.
Yeah.
I'm glad we played it again. 'Cause
Exactly.
she's hard to understand. So, let's kind of talk about it so everyone gets what she's saying, because she's tough.
She is tough.
But
That's a mean old bitch right there, isn't it?
man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. The demon.
It's like Jurassic Park, like the raft.
the Raptors.
Yeah, the Raptors coming out. If they could talk, it would be Francis Picone.
Talk about foreshadowing. What the hell? I mean, isn't it ironic that this guy did become a demon? Or he is a demon. He's still around.
He's still around.
But, that's what she was talking about.
When Kenny was 4 or 5 years old, he got 3, not 2, but 3 sets of teeth, front teeth. She asked the dentist if he would be a demon. Foreshadowing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And would he go crazy later on in life?
I think she called it cuckus. Would he go cuckus? That must be crazy. And
Is that a Rochester word?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's an Italian word that I'm not familiar with. But why would she even think of something like that? Did you hear? It came to my mind like a shock.
That
Like
was
a
good.
shock. You follow? Do you follow? You were like, yeah, I do.
I follow.
Calm down.
Just don't fucking put my hand on a stove.
Oh.
Yeah. She mentioned that the family were winos.
Yeah.
Now she's talking about the family, the biological mother, and her family, right?
Yeah, because, excuse me, they were right in the neighborhood. So, they were there. They knew them. They knew who they were. They knew the problems they had. They did a lot of drinking.
This is really, really bad. And I just thought of this. But since they were in the neighborhood, what if Ken Bianchi's dad was hitting the prostitute who was Ken Bianchi's
Leave it to you to think of that.
biological mother? It's possible. You got this hot 17-year-old piece of ass, right? She's right down the street.
But come on, Tom. He would have to pay for that. Would you pay when you got a hot Francis Bianchi at home? Come on.
She was young, though, then, right?
Yeah, she was. Maybe she was hot.
Do we know what she looked like when she was
Yeah, we got
young?
that picture up there. Yeah, we know. She's not bad.
Was she hot? Would you hit
Not
it?
bad. Come on, stop. I'm a married man. I don't want to hear from her. She's listening now.
Oh, I know, Mom.
Mom is listening.
Uh-oh. Mom is listening. This was the first... Go on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, how about she thought about it over the years? She thought about it and thought about it, but she never mentioned it. And is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
First?
About the teeth?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's the first time anybody heard about it, right?
Yeah. And we're letting you guys in on that new, amazing information.
Yes. Development in the trial.
Yes. And the dentist, right? The dentist who was probably hitting France Picone. The dentist told her not to worry. It's how you raise him.
Well, we already listened to Dr. Fallon. We covered primary psychopath. We covered his first 3 months and 3 years. What we knew. She knew he did it. I mean, come on.
Of course she did.
She knew he did it.
Mm-hmm.
She knew what went on those first 3 years. And you send him out to L.A., Angelo takes over. I mean, come on, cuz. Come with Angelo.
Come with Angelo. I'll get you a spot on the police force.
Yeah.
And it was like, most people, they go out to L.A. because they want to be a star. Not Kenneth Bianchi. He didn't want to be a star. He wanted to learn how to use a garrote and do it good. What a piece of shit.
Yeah,
he'd be a good actor.
Yeah, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's a great liar.
Yeah.
He's a great con artist. I mean, he can play characters.
He's smart. I hate to say that.
He is smart.
But I got to say it. He is smart. It makes me sick, but he is.
He is.
All right, back to Frances. She had to know something was wrong. I mean, she just, we look at the documented accounts of Ken's teenage years. We see the, what are you doing over there?
I'm advertising.
Murder phone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, Joey with the mug. We got to bring him one, right? I bet
he could fucking buy one if he wants one.
I bet you next time he'll come with the one from his desk. I've got my own, right?
He will.
He will. He will. Anyway, as we look at the documented accounts of Ken's teenage years, we see the signs, the same signs that I am 100% sure Frances saw. Right? Just like the show says, there's signs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You know what, though? Evil lives here. That's the show. Where it says that. There were signs.
Oh, and what's the show about?
American Monster?
Psychopaths.
Oh, that's what it's called.
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
There were signs.
Yes.
Yeah, they use that. Well, because there are, right?
Ken Bianchi's mom. She's not stupid. She saw these signs, like we say.
Yeah.
And I bet it scared her.
And she doesn't talk about it. That she doesn't like to talk about it, but she tried to discipline it out of him, right? The things that she did that really helped create him. They didn't work on him because he's wired wrong.
Yeah.
But she saw him, and that's why she thought about the demon teeth. It came like a shock. Came like a shock. The way she said, I can't do her. You could do her.
It came like a shock.
Yeah, right? She knew he was fucked up. She was trying to find something, anything, to make her believe that it was caused by something other than the fucked up upbringing that he had. And that's no knock on Frances because you know what? Like Tony said last week.
I say a lot of things.
No, you just said she wasn't equipped. It was like buying a car that breaks down. She's not a mechanic. And she had no idea what she was getting into. Remember, she said, when I adopted this little boy at 3 months, it was like the world to me. I thought it was going to be the world to me. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way.
No.
And
unfortunately, the brand new Ferrari, turned into a
56 Ford.
Ford, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You imagine if when we went to visit Ken, if we sat down and we were telling him that it was like your mom, Frances, who you praise. It was like she bought a used fucking car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. As we learned, wait for it, Tone. As we learned from Dr. Fallon, Ken's psychopathy. Yeah, I love that word.
You love it, and so does every forensic psychologist who's on TV.
Yeah.
They use it every time.
Psychopathy.
Psychopathy.
Dr. Fallon used it when we were talking to him.
Exactly.
But Ken's psychopathy, yeah, it was created from his birth to 3 years old because he was abandoned, he was mistreated by his biological mother, and God only knows what his adopted mother and father did to him. Bianchi was a narcissistic egomaniac and a compulsive liar. He boasted about everything, but none of it was true. And when the kids found out, he was a bedwetter. A bedwetter.
A bedwetter.
The teasing was off the charts, guys. It was brutal. Brutal. And as it usually does, the sexual perversion that Bianchi had showed up at an early age. When he was 12, he thought it would be a good idea to pull down a 6-year-old girl's pants. He thought that was just great. And he continued doing that all the way through his high school days. Boy, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, 6 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one step to being a sex offender. I've never been caught. But, like...
The cops come through the door.
Exactly. I'm not that bad, though. Like 6-year-old girls, no.
Thank you.
Exactly. The whole wetter thing.
Yeah.
Like, look at Jim Morrison, for instance. He would just pull his dick out right on stage and just piss. Yeah. That's not considered being a bedwetter. But that's a problem. He got arrested, didn't he?
Yeah, he was arrested. He's nuts. You know, tomorrow is the, let's see, he died July 3rd, 1971. So that's what, 43 years?
And I didn't even know that. And that wasn't on the script. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny I brought that up. Jim Morrison.
Yeah, you didn't know that. It's not on here. I just happened to read about that. July 3rd, 1971. He went
died
down in France, yeah.
27 years old.
27 club, yeah.
His adopted father, Nick Bianchi, died suddenly in 1965. He didn't die. He died of a heart attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was from fucking that 17-year-old.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah. I mean, it was too much for his heart. Anyways, he died suddenly in 1965. And there are things that have been reported on the internet that Ken denies ever happening. Oh, gee. Right? He denies a lot of things.
Everything that doesn't fit his narrative.
Because he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Everything is in his control.
Yeah.
It has to fit with his narrative.
But my math was off, and people will write and say, "You fucking idiot."
Oh.
It was 53 years ago he died.
What'd you say?
43.
Okay.
Jimmy Morrison. What a goof. Threw it all away.
What a goof.
27.
Good looking.
Yeah.
Had talent.
Yeah.
He was smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you know they get me. They like to jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
Get a calculator, Al.
It has been said that Francis made Kenny wear his dad's shoes to his funeral to symbolize that now. Oh, here we go. I love this part. I love it. It was to symbolize that Ken was the fucking man in the house, and that he, from now on, was to take care of Francis's needs. That's not just cleaning house and cooking and all that shit. We're talking about Francis's needs.
Come on.
I just...
Stop
okay.
it.
All right. Here's where his... I'm going to let you say the word.
Psychopathy.
Here's where his psychopathy shows. Because Bianchi always wants to control, like we just said, the narrative. The internet drives him crazy because he's a true psychopath and he can't control what's being said on the internet. So he has to improvise whenever he can, like in every fucking letter he ever sent me.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The man is a compulsive liar. Like you might have a friend, like you might say, oh, he lies a lot. He doesn't lie like Ken Bianchi. Ken wears the crown, right?
Yeah.
And he's always been that way, even when he was a little bastard, right?
He lied.
He lied.
He lies just to lie, right?
To hear himself lie. Even when he doesn't have to lie.
He lies.
He lies. Here is what Kenny has to say about that.
That's what you needed, Ken, when you were young. You needed a brother.
I've actually got two stepbrothers and a stepsister. My stepdad was great. You'd like my stepdad.
Yeah?
You would have liked my dad, and you would have liked my stepdad. My stepdad passed away in 1999, but Sam.
Okay.
He was just a terrific guy. Used to work for the post office, and my dad, Nick, died in 65.
And that really hurt you. I've read about that. You were really close with your dad. I mean, something about a pair of shoes.
No. You're reading all that crap on the... I didn't wear my dad's shoes at his funeral. I wore my own shoes. No, you're reading that crap off the wherever and stuff. No, I never wore my dad's shoes.
So you've heard that before then? You've heard about that being written?
I've been hearing that crap for years and stuff. That is totally false. Totally fabricated, totally made up. Wore my own shoes. I was a 14-year-old kid that took I think my shoe size was like a size 8.
Uh-huh.
My dad wore like a 10.5 or 11. I didn't wear my dad's shoes at his funeral.
Did you go on a canoe trip with him and he gave you a pair of shoes?
No, I never went on a canoe trip with my dad.
So all that's bullshit.
A pair of shoes, man.
Well, see, you're learning all this from me.
I swear to God, Tony, that's totally false, man.
You know why I think they make that stuff up? To help the flow go to the story.
Yeah, it's all made up. Honest, man, I swear to God, in my dad's grave, that's all made up bullshit. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been hearing this wild-ass fabricated story about I wore my dad's shoes at his funeral.
It was very symbolic, is the way they made it sound.
But that's crap. I wore my own shoes. The other one that I heard, the other one that I kept hearing that kind of pissed me off,
So there's a lot of things that piss me off. That's also fabricated is that I didn't cry at my dad's funeral. Are you shitting me? When I found out that I was 14 years old, and when I found out that my dad died, I cried and cried and cried and cried. And at my dad's funeral, I cried. Hey, I'm an Italian man. You know, I have emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was bullshit, man. But people have written he didn't cry at his dad's funeral. He wore his dad's shoes. I mean, that's all crap. It's all bullshit, man.
Kenny claims it's all totally false.
Yeah, they heard him. I mean, they heard that. We heard them. False. It's false.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
See, whatever true crime podcast can deliver letters from the killer that proves a point, you know?
Phone conversations.
Phone conversations. Yes.
And letters.
Mm-hmm. So Francis had mentioned about the shoes in passing to me. So I know it was true. You heard it.
Yeah.
Yes. Remember what the doctor said when his dad died, right? He became the man of the house in order to meet his mom's needs.
Did the doctor say that, or did you say that? But you are a doctor, so I'm a little confused.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if he wants to hold his diploma up to my diploma, you know,
okay, well,
MD.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just get a little more dramatic than, let's say,
I see.
most medical doctors.
Okay, well, I just wanted to clarify that.
Mm-hmm. It didn't matter to Bianchi if any of it was true or not, because he couldn't control it. Wouldn't it be great to watch him in his cell just churning and churning?
Oh,
because
yeah.
he can't control it. He's like fucking going crazy.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So also, well, you guys heard it. He spews lie after lie and cries that he's innocent. Well, that's all fine.
Hold on, though. When he cries, like all psychopaths, there's no tears.
None.
No. They always cover their fucking face up on the TV shows.
Yeah. Well, the point I'm making is he's on all the time. He's on. I'm innocent. All of these things that they report are bullshit. I never did anything. I never killed anyone. They're crazy. It was mass hysteria. See, all that's fine with Kenny, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's controlling the narrative when he's talking about his innocence. He's lying through his teeth. His whole life is a fucking lie. But it's okay. It's okay with him because he's controlling it. And then he had mentioned the crying. He says, hey, I'm an Italian man, you know? Italian men have emotions. And we do. We do. But we're normal.
Yes.
We're normal. No, Kenny, you don't have emotions. I'm sorry, but you don't. And that's why you didn't cry. That's why they're not lying when they said you didn't cry. You felt sad. You looked around. You saw people crying. You thought, well, I ought to cry. So you held your handkerchief up to your eyes and you pretended like you cried. And now you lie and you say, I cried, and I cried. No, you didn't.
No, Tony, no. No, it's all fabrications. It's all twisted truth. It's all lies. It's all garbage what you're hearing.
That's him.
Mm-hmm.
Asshole.
Here is another example of what an anal asshole he is. He's lying here about never dealing with known collectors. In one of my first letters I sent to him, I told him I had obtained one of his paintings. No big deal. No big deal. Just part of an opening conversation. You know, fucking what you would call small talk.
Right.
Yes. I was complimenting him on his artistic talent. Here is the psychopath's response in his first letter to me, right when he's trying to make a first impression, right?
Yeah.
But
right.
this is his first fucking letter to me. Wait till you hear it. Yes. Notice how this jagoff, right? Notice how this fucking jagoff started the letter. No dear Tony or hi Tony. Letter dated July 2007. Anthony Ciaglia. I am in receipt of your 4 letters. I do not respond to known collectors, but after some discussion with someone here, I thought to write and say a few things. Oh, thanks, Kenny. Thanks. You know, I'm fucking honored that you would consider to drop me a couple of words. Your first letter appears an attempt to say P.O. Box instead of just box. Perhaps so I would think the address was your home.
No, Kenny. If you weren't in prison for 44 fucking years, you would know P.O. Box stands for Post Office Box. There's no nefarious trying to pull the wool over your eyes because we know how smart you are. No, you're in prison, so you didn't know. Or you're just being the typical anal asshole that you are. P.O. Box.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking moron. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what? P.O., it's just missing an S. P.O.S. Piece of shit.
Piece of shit. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious of people who use P.O. or private boxes instead of their address. It's the nature of my situation and experiences. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The painting you purchased from whoever are a fraud on you. Someone has duped you. Many unscrupulous people have figured simply by saying something was mine, they can turn a handsome profit. Sorry, you were duped by someone. Does he not sound like a fifth grader? You know,
Yeah.
like arguing with another fifth grader?
Yeah, and he has this self-worth imagination, like his name or his signature is worth money. No, it makes people, bile rises up in their throat
Yeah.
when they hear Ken Bianchi. The mere mention of my name can turn a handsome profit. Fuck you. Right?
I like it. You're right. Exactly right. And here's how he ends it, okay?
Yeah.
Best to you and yours. Sincerely, K.
And I held up. here's the letter.
That's the actual letter.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you're watching on YouTube, I think you'll be able to see it. Okay, there it is. And there on the top, Anthony Ciaglia, and at the bottom, sincerely, K. For Kenny.
Suck my dick, Kay. Yeah. Here, show him the envelope.
Oh, yeah, here's the envelope. Yeah. Just so you got to know that we're telling the truth. I'm sure you all believe us, but it's always good to show it sometimes.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Like when I say I have a big fucking dick.
Oh, shit.
I show it. I like to show it.
Stop.
So they know. All right. Now, this letter, guys, gave me a pretty good idea of who I was dealing with, because I knew he was lying. First, I never bought or sold anything, but I would trade for things. I called the collector that I had dealt with, who is one of the biggest collectors and dealers of murderabilia, and told him what Bianchi said. He said Bianchi was a lying piece of shit. And he would often write and ask this collector if he needed any artwork because he needed money. He then sent me the COA that he received from Bianchi. The letter is telling the collector when the art piece that he bought from Bianchi would be ready. So Bianchi, who never deals with collectors, is caught selling his art to a collector, the biggest collector out there. This is the art piece that I traded for, that I still have. Gosh, this was like in 1991.
That's when it was painted.
Okay.
But
all right, don't fuck this up, all right?
I'm gonna fuck you up. What do you think of that?
Fuck.
All right, should I read it?
Yeah, I'll help you.
right.
I'll help you hold it.
Oh, that's big of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read it if I can. It's small type. I, Kenneth Bianchi, do hereby attest that this sketch entitled No Winners is an original drawn by me personally and commissioned by Nick. I won't give the guy's last name. This drawing is a story. You want the story?
Yeah, you should.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
The naked seated man represents the naked loneliness of prison life, as well as the nakedness of innocence. So you had to throw that in.
Mm-hmm.
The locking mechanism with no key represents a life sentence in prison and the pervasive atmosphere which prevails. The live figures are wearing street clothes to symbolize freedom, but the sleeve is torn on the figure of me. That loss, I can't read this. Oh, that lost sleeve symbolizes the act of society ripping away all of my freedom with the word injustice to symbolize the way that loss occurred. On both figures, at least part of the handcuffs
My arm's fucking getting tired here.
Tough. It's hard to read because it's so small. On both figures, at least part of the handcuffs remain because a win now is not as clean now as a win at the beginning of things. At the window is the blue sky outside and a list of yellow sunshine that stops at the window border. The flower represents the beauty longed for in the mist of last and life, or a limit of natural beauty in the way day life of prison. Oh, in everyday life of prison. I affix my signature to the lower right hand corner of the drawing with my additional signatures at the end of this letter, dated this 7th day of November, 1991. Kenneth Bianchi, witnessed by somebody O'Neill and Norman Degedoff.
As witnesses.
As witnesses. They must have been prisoners. Let's turn it around so they can see what I'm reading. And you guys that aren't watching on YouTube, you ought to do it because his artwork is pretty good. Actually, he's very good.
Yeah.
And the bullshit, you can see the bullshit he spews, even when he's drawing artwork. I mean, it's all about him, about his innocence, and it makes me want to puke.
You realize for like 4 years, he's been spewing bullshit?
I know it.
Yeah. You know, Ken, this injustice, you losing the rose and the sunlight in the sky, which I'm, so sorry about. I just want to say, when you kill women and children, that's what happens.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Let me lay this down.
That would have been a lot easier for him to write that on the back of this instead of spewing out and out fucking lies.
Yeah, you're right.
Fuck.
We won't harp on YouTube, but you ought to go on there and check this guy's artwork out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess you proved that he's full of shit.
Yeah.
No,
that
he
letter
lies.
that he sent me?
See, he didn't have to lie about that.
No.
All you did in your letter was compliment him on his artwork. And he had to go into this big thing.
About how I was duped.
You were duped. You're a collector, this, that. He didn't know anything about you. And you're not a collector.
I'm not, no.
You haven't never sold a thing in your life.
No.
Got a whole shed.
Yeah, my body. I sell that every once in a while.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay.
All right, I'm totally lost. Where the fuck are we?
Now I had to decide if I wanted to deal with this lying piece of shit.
So, am I going to read this letter?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Here is the next letter that I received in August of 2007. Dear Tony, at least he's calling me Tony now. And he's writing Dear. It's not just Anthony Ciaglia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dear Tony, I just finished rereading your letters. The way you have recovered from that horrific injury at 15 demonstrates extraordinary strength of body and spirit. I am aware of closed head injuries. Sure you are, right?
Yeah.
Because he's
smartest man in the room.
Smartest man in the room.
Knows everything about everything.
About everything. You know, you don't have to be a serial killer to be that person who knows everything about everything. We all know people like that and we can't fucking stand them. Right? Right? Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. I am aware of closed head injuries that almost always cause depression and emotional control difficulties. The battles you still face, the deep depression and emotional struggles, and the fact you haven't just given up is evidence of courage and determination that is admirable. Dad, you know how hard it was for him to give me like a compliment?
Oh,
You know, to write something positive about something I've overcome.
he probably broke both hands, punching the wall.
A punch in the wall has
Yeah. Yeah, you know it's hard.
Yeah. I am aware of sites that purport to sell items and artwork that allegedly belong to me. Yeah, and I got fucking, what, 4 more at home?
Yeah, we couldn't prove it any more than what we just did.
But it all just frustrates the hell out of me. And it is yet another episode of exploiting me and my name for all the wrong and nefarious purposes. Do what you do it. Do it.
Oh,
There he goes. There it goes.
oh.
I'm sorry.
This is where.
Exploiting him, Dad.
Oh,
He killed people. He killed innocent girls, children.
In his sick mind, I think he really believes this.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. That is where I was coming from in my last letter to you. I hope you will understand. My best to you and your family. Your parents sound wonderful, very loving and supportive, and you are blessed. They have every good reason to be proud of you. Well, I imagine you will write upon receipt of this and my previous letter. Because I hadn't written him yet.
Letters.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't
No, you hadn't.
responded to him.
No, you wrote the first, I think, 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you got that first one,
He hammered me.
you said, I don't
Fuck
think
this
I
guy.
want to talk to this guy.
Uh-huh. And here's how he ended it. Take care, Ken.
So you graduated to Ken.
I got a first name out of it.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. A true psychopath. You see how he just changed? I was still trying to decide if I wanted to write, and I knew it was pissing him off. Just because I know how psychopaths are.
Yeah. And the way he ends it, well, I imagine you will write to me after you receive this and my previous letters. You know, he's raging inside right now.
Yes.
Because he lost control. Now he's not sure if you're going to write him. And you did.
And I did. Well, I imagine you will write upon receipt of this and my previous letter. Blow me. That's all I got to say. Blow me, Ken. Dad,
Yes.
take it from me.
All right. That's all you could take?
Yes.
Hey, you proved. All right. This is a trial. I think you proved
Yeah, I did.
within a reasonable doubt, right?
Uh-huh. And don't get
Without
angry
a
at
reason.
me. I'm drinking out of the bottle.
Oh, boy.
How do you like that?
I don't like it. But I think you proved your case here with Kenny,
Yeah.
as far as the lying and the bullshit and never dealing with collectors.
Yeah.
Unless I'm filling my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here it comes again. We're going to get into Bianchi's psychopathy. When that word comes up on TV, we always look at
We
each
always
other.
looked at each other. Kind of like when we go, hey.
So anyway, we're going to cover his psychopathy because he's really good at it. Here is a letter from September 2007. Dear Tony, please allow me to explain a few things.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man
Yes.
of wealth and taste.
He wouldn't know that. He's a Lawrence Welk man. Come on, tie me up. Please allow me to explain a few things. Later this year or early next year, a book authored by Ted Ponticelli titled Without Evidence will be published. The book will support the conclusion that I was wrongly convicted. Ted is a former member of the LA Police Department, where he worked in the Internal Affairs Division, and he has great credentials. I'm hyper cautious, but the world needs to know, finally, the truth of what actually occurred in my cases. The corruption, the dirty prosecution, and the manufactured evidence, and how my fraudulent, spurious admissions came to be.
Well, hold on. I got to throw something in there.
Go ahead.
Why then? Why is the smartest man in the room sitting in a fucking cage for the past 44 years? Right?
Yeah. Why didn't he go to trial if he was so innocent?
That's what I'm talking about. I always wondered about that, right?
Right?
No, yeah. But what did he do? He sold his cousin under the bus.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sure. I didn't finish the letter, though. Listen.
Oh.
How he ended it. And this is the truth. I got the letters right here because people are going to say bullshit. Well, I imagine you will write upon receipt of this and my previous letters. Sincerely, Ken.
Oh, boy.
You see, Tony was deciding he didn't know, and I'm over there saying, don't write him, don't write him, don't. He's a jagoff, he's an asshole. And he's there, I don't know, though, but, maybe we can find something out about this guy. So these letters came in, boom, boom, boom. You got one in July, one in August, and one in September. And he still hadn't gotten any letters from you. So he was losing it.
He was.
He definitely was losing it.
I simply had other people to write. That's it.
And he knew, because Tony even said to me, he's a psychopath, Dad. It's driving him crazy because now I'm not writing. So in this letter, he mentions the book Without Evidence and Ted Ponticelli for the first time. Mr. Ponticelli has some great credentials, and you'll hear his name mentioned along with the book frequently. But the one thing you won't hear is the date of publication. Because
I know what happened. It didn't come in.
it was never published.
It was never published. You know why? Because the publishing company probably had somebody look this fucking asshole up, not Ponticelli, Ken Bianchi.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? None of this is true. Nobody believes this bullshit. And what are they going to put? Are they going to publish a book that's been written on 12 women's death?
No. And we know. We went down the road. He had a book written about him, The Serial Killer Whisperer. And they vetted. I mean, they don't just print anything. They vetted it. They vetted the letters. They vetted Tony. They vetted his accident.
And they could not help themselves because the book about Tony was just so fucking amazing.
Okay. Here's a phone clip. Who does this? This is a phone clip of Ken talking about Ted Ponticelli.
And truth has nothing to do with nothing. You know, the truth was out the window many years ago and stuff. It's just whoever can put together the most horrific, the most salacious stuff, and that's why Mr. Ponticelli, that's why Ted Ponticelli has done such a terrific job.
You said his name right.
Huh?
You said his name right. I'm proud of you. You said it in Italian, the way it's said. Mm-hmm.
Well, he has spent more time than anybody else on planet Earth and stuff, going over both cases and talking to people and talking to ex-cops and everything else. And he's been to Bellingham and the whole 9 yards and stuff. And this is a guy that was conservative, Republican, law and order, totally pro-law enforcement and stuff. And about 2 years after starting, after doing all his research and everything else and stuff, he was in his office and his wife was in another room in his office and stuff. And all of a sudden he went to the door. It finally hit him, and he went to the door and noticed that his wife had done the same thing. And she looked at him, and he looked at her, and he said, because he told me this story, he says, I looked at her, and she looked at me, and I told her, did you come to the same conclusion I did? She says, yeah. He said, he's innocent. And it just kind of went from there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I have to point this out, Tony.
Yeah.
The doorbell that you heard, it was a coincidence. That actually was our doorbell ringing when Tony was talking to Ken. And we're listening to the clip, and we're there, oh my God, the people that are listening are going to think we put this in there. Because when Ted, was going to go to the door and answer the doorbell rang. Yeah. It was ours. That was our doorbell. But
it was probably my girlfriend.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
Which one? But anyway, it's an amazing coincidence because it rang right at that very moment. That was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. According to Ken, and this was a quote, you guys just heard it, the truth has nothing to do with nothing.
Hold on, that was so beautiful. Say that one more time.
The truth, Tony, has nothing to do with nothing.
Come on, Ken, you're a smart guy. What kind of English was that?
The truth has nothing to do with nothing. Unless it's coming from Ken's truth. Then you better believe it or the garrote comes out. Ooh.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So everything that's being said, everything that has been said, everything that was written in the newspapers, everything they talked about in court, everything that they threw at him during the case, all the crying, all the bullshit, they were making it up. They were making it all up. I mean, the most horrific and salacious stuff. Isn't that what he said? The most horrific and salacious stuff. It's all made up. Man. So according to Bianchi, Ted and his wife both believed at the same time, if we're to believe this, he's innocent. You heard it. The doorbell, they looked at each other and they came to the conclusion, he's innocent. So
Which Ponchatelli? I mean, Ponchatelli. He's a smart guy.
He's a sharp guy. I haven't met him.
Yeah.
But his credentials are great, and he seems like a really sharp guy. What I read about him. We got to analyze it.
What?
We have to analyze this. What, how, and why? Because, we just got to analyze it.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to use Jim Fallon. I wished I was as smart as Jim.
You are.
But I can honestly say I'm down here on the floor, and Jim isn't even on the ceiling. He's way up in the sky somewhere. He's just that smart. So I'm not even going to try, okay? I'm actually going to quote our good friend Jim. Fallon's description of a primary psychopath, okay? This is his quote. Primary psychopathic killers can be very cunning. They have no moral compass. They only sense that something is wrong or how to react by reactions of others. They are wired genetically wrong, and then they have the nurturing factor. Between birth and 3 years old is where the psychopathy happens, and it can't be fixed. These kind of people, because they have no sense of morality, they never sound like they're guilty or that they are aggressive. So when they are picked up by the police, they never act guilty, and they get away with things, and people believe them.
That's what's scary.
They are very glib, and they have that good rap and everything going. Very believable people. People believe them.
Scary to have them out in public.
And this is Jim Fallon still. A primary psychopath can fool almost anyone. Family, friends, police, lawyers, etc. A primary psychopath can fool anyone. Family, friends, police, lawyers, etc. They have been doing it for years. We call it slipping through the cracks of justice. Serial killers are incredible liars. They just are. Think about it. Think how many were in jail and got out, or they were arrested, but they got out. They never put them in jail because they lie so well. Gary Leon Ridgway, he passed 3 lie detector tests before they finally got him.
You got to be like dead inside to do that.
Yeah, but they are just that good, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like Dr. Fallon said, they have no sense of morality, so they never sound like they're guilty. Very believable people. Ken Bianchi is a primary psychopath. His history since birth proves this. He's a compulsive liar, a con man, a skilled manipulator, and he has absolutely no moral compass. His psychopathy is off the charts, and he is a ruthless killer. He is such a good liar that he actually fooled experts into believing he had a multiple personality disorder. Well, that's pretty good lying.
Yeah.
Until the one smart guy came along.
Exactly.
Let him right into the trap.
Mm-hmm.
That is why it's understandable that Mr. Ponticelli believes him.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. That was a great summation.
Welcome.
Great.
Thank Jim Fallon, because that was, I took it from him.
You delivered it good, though.
Thank you.
Exactly. You're welcome. Yeah. After listening to this guy for 7 years, I would have wanted my mom to put me in a garrote.
That was good.
Yeah. Choke me out with it, Mom.
Please, right?
Please, yes. I have to say, he is one of the best liars I've ever heard. It just never stopped. It never stopped. And it was about everything, including his poor mother. This is certainly not a knock on Mr. Ponticelli. I'm sure he's a great guy. I just hate that he wasted so much time on this piece of shit. I'm so glad, Dad, that I didn't.
Oh,
I did. I wasted a lot of time on
I
him.
know. I think everyone got that.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Mr. Ponticelli wasted a lot of time. I feel bad for him.
I do. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the show today. As always, me and the Coxman, we loved giving it to you. So, as always, it's a wrap. Take care.
Could I add one thing?
Yeah, I mean, you're fucking up my ending, but let's delve into it.
I just wanted to tell everybody that join us next week because we're going to start getting into the murders. And Ken's first trip to LA and more lies from Ken Bianchi. I think you're really going to enjoy it. But what I really wanted to say here is at that point, after that, we're going to take a little break from Mr. Bianchi. And we've got some surprise episodes coming your way.
Yes.
About the I-70 killings. So, next week, Bianchi. And the week after that, we're going to start in on the I-70 killings. And believe me, we got some great stuff.
Yes.
Great stuff. Current stuff. So, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let them know.
No, that was great.
Just wanted to let them know.
I mean, I like how you grab them. You know?
Okay.
It was like you went through that camera and you grabbed them by the throat and you told them.
So you're not going to fire me?
No.
Okay.
No. And I just think, though, that when you grabbed them and you told them,
Yeah.
come with us the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. So, guys, take care of yourself, stay safe, and remember, always walk in the calm after the storm. Good job, Dad.
You too, bud.
Love you.
Love you too.